There we go. Can you hear me now? I don't know why that was off. Let me know the levels too, if that's too loud or if that's working okay. It looks like it's a little loud, but I want to make sure it's audible, especially if I get closer. So here's me trying to do new stuff for the channel. I was trying to get a different overlay and get some tools involved, and mucking around with trying to fix how the build camera is constantly going out. So I was like researching that, and I didn't do any changes to Prism that I thought, but in messing with the device manager, maybe it got set funny. I don't know. Anyway, so apologies for missing that whole spiel. We're into bag 9 now. Basically, I was just saying big thank you to everybody who has served, and thank you for your service, and thank you for everything. So that's why we have Memorial Day. I was reminded of that by my grand boss, who very helpfully posts a link. It says, hey, go ahead and take off early on Friday, and then there's a link to Memorial Day. Sounds a bit loud. How's that? Is that a little better? Especially with the bag crinkling. And the music. Let me know how the music is. Music sounds loud to me. I'll put up lights on the shelf here. I had some LEDs from a party that we did for Beth a while back. So I was like, I can put those up behind my shelf. And then it washes out by the big lights here. So I might try to put them under the shelf instead. They've got adhesive. Some things going on. Watched some soccer yesterday. On top of it being Memorial Day, there was a couple big days for soccer for Austin FC fans. We played Minnesota and tied, which is good for us, not great for Minnesota. Going in to a top-rated team and as a visitor and coming away with a point after a tie is still good. We didn't look bad. There's a couple moments where we could have put it away and we didn't, and it's frustrating because one of the players is a very expensive player that so far I feel has not. They helped with one of the goals, but overall it feels like they just haven't found their rhythm yet. So it was frustrating, but again, we got a point. So I just wish we had more goals and came away with a comfortable win rather than these like. They're boring and nail biting at the same time. I don't know how that's possible. Anyway, also I watched the women's soccer UEFA, is it UEFA championship between Arsenal and Barcelona, and apparently Barcelona was basically supposed to walk away with it, and they didn't. Arsenal won first time in 20 years. So it's good to see the women's teams crush it. Was able to watch my I keep saying this to Beth, my girlfriend Katie McCabe from Ireland. She didn't score, but she was integral. She had an assist, or she was a part of the play that helped the goal. So that was good. That was nice. So yeah, it's been a low-stress weekend. I've been playing. I finished Clair Obscur, which, if you are a video game person and you like turn-based role-playing games, I think you might like this. Everyone is saying it's game of the year. I don't think that's game of the year, but it's still a very good game. I would definitely give it a shot. Ooh, look at these pieces. Look at those. I know these aren't new, but I'm always thrilled with these pieces in different colors. Nice wedge pieces. Babies, what are you doing? There's nobody outside. But there is, and I'm defending you. Let me defend you. So I switched back over to Battlefront 2 because apparently there was a thing the last week or so where people are just talking about Battlefront 3 in everything they do. So every post, every TikTok video, every Reddit post, every Facebook post, somebody's going to be commenting with Battlefront 3. And the idea is to flood social media with the hashtag so it gets a little noticed. These guys again. New brackets, single one by whatever brackets. And then yesterday or over the weekend, I think starting Friday and then into Saturday, they were trying to get people to play Battlefront 2 again, to fill up the servers and break the user count record previously established, I don't know, 10 years ago, something, 5 years ago. So I did my part, got on and played quite a few rounds. The lobbies are real full again, and it was good to get back in and play. I love the game. It's one of my favorite games ever. I think I still may like Battlefront 1 more, just because it, I liked some of the levels a little better. But this one, it's pretty. The gameplay is really nice. I'm just was very excited to get back into it. And then I realized, as I was looking at people posting, you know, how often they played it, and it was like, you know, I put in 300 hours, 400 hours, and it's like, that seems like a lot. And then I checked how much I'd played over the years. I've played 4,300 hours on Battlefront 2. Like it was like 43, 46 or 46, 43. It doesn't matter at that point. It's over 4,000 hours. That's ridiculous. But then I realized it was like, well, I've had this game since 2017, and I would play every day. I would probably play an hour or two every day, at least. Weekends, sometimes more. So that totally tracks that I had 4,000 play hours on it, which is kind of ridiculous. And then we're putting this right next to that. Make sure there's no, I get a lot of dog hair up in here. Make sure there's no dog hair. Turn it over, put this right here. Bob's your uncle. Oh, and this goes underneath. Turn this around. I'm gonna retract the landing gear. I got some of my Bricklink order in this weekend, and does it say like where it's supposed to go? I think this is just a thing. They psych you out with that hinge plate, thinking there's a hinge. There's a corresponding bracket in there, but I think it's a spacer. This is something Lego does a lot lately, is use certain pieces as spacers. Because that's not going in really well. Is there something in the way there? Something in the way. Ooh. Something in the way. Okay, I think that's all good. That. Sure the landing gear still comes out. You're planning to order this Wednesday? What are you planning to order? Did I miss part of the conversation? You're ordering Battlefront? Because that'd be pretty rad. So yeah, been playing Battlefront and wrapped up Clair Obscur. I'm looking for a new game to play. Haven't figured out which one I want to get yet. I may take a break from games for a little bit and focus on some Lego for a little while. Oh, the set I'm building. Okay, cool. I think the GWP for the Space Baby ended yesterday, but it may still be going on. So you'll have to check. I don't know if that was important to you or not. Which side is that? Do they want? They want this other side. Two fours. So this morning I watched the first 2 episodes of the Murderbot series on Apple TV. If you have Apple TV, it's on there. It's delightful. It's very not tongue-in-cheek, but very, I don't even think irreverence the word. It's just really funny written stuff. Dark Ages is good. Okay, I'll check that out. What kind of game is that? Is that a survival game or a Civ game? A Civ sim? Yeah, so I read the book, or I listened to the book on audio, and I wasn't a huge fan of who read it. So that may have colored it a little bit, and I feel like there was a shooter. Okay, I might check it out. I'm okay with shooters. They're fine. I generally don't play them all that much, but I played God, what was it called? Dark Space? Dead Space. It wasn't Dead Space. It may have been Dead Space. It was basically a shooter. Kind of the typical, you're on a spaceship and they were conducting experiments and these things turned into like space zombies kind of thing. And the shtick was that you could only unlock certain places as you go, and then you could go back to them, and everything was on kind of like a big spaceship that had a train going through it, so there's different stations you could activate, and it was okay. It was kind of short, but you know, it served a purpose. This isn't a ×2, is it? Okay. They were PlayStation's having a huge sale on stuff right now. I almost got Dragon Ball. It's a fighting game, but I forget the name of it. But it was like 90% off. Like, man, I'd be losing money not getting this. One of those mentalities. I had a bunch of other games. I'm waiting for Last of Us to go on sale so I can play that. Last of Us and Last of Us 2. You saw Mission Impossible, or you're going to see Mission Impossible on Thursday? You seen Mission Impossible? I don't know. That was a typo or something funny I found out about the Mission Impossible movies. The first couple actually had like a plot, and then after that they sort of wrote around stunt pieces. So it didn't matter what the plot was currently doing. They didn't write with that in mind. They wrote around the fact that Tom Cruise could jump out of a plane or lampoon a helicopter with his face, or you know, something. And then they'd write the story around that, which is why you see all the big set pieces as commercials for the movie, and that's like the big set piece for the movie. And then everything is kind of written around, well, how did Ethan Hunt get to this point that he's doing this stunt? Well, we have to fill in the gaps, we have to put him in this location, then we have to do this, and then blah 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 blah. which to me takes a certain brand of writing, a certain skill in writing that I think is overlooked. Because you're not just whole cloth trying to write a movie, you're trying to fit movie pieces into other movie pieces. Alien Isolation. Okay. I don't know what I'm in the mood for. Like, if I want a cozy game, if I want to play Split Fiction, but I don't have. Beth doesn't want to play, and I don't have. My youngest is the video game playing person, and he's not around a whole lot in order to play it. So I don't really have a way to play it, and it's not one that you can do like. Well, you can sort of get away with it by just playing by yourself. But it looked good. I think that's probably going to get like Game of the Year, would be my guess. Just because it's so unique. Okay, here. Alright, so that's a good bit of slope right there. Right? And we've got two different hinges, one in here and one in here, to kind of allow it to attach. And this is going to be the thing that holds part of the shuttle. Final Fantasy 16. So having just finished a turn-based role-playing game, I don't know that I'm in the mood for another one. A friend also suggested Metaphor. He said that's if you liked Claire Obscure, you may like Metaphor, but it's very anime-centric looking. He said it has one of the best characters in video games in it. So might check that out. How does this go on? Like that. So I don't know, like I haven't played a Final Fantasy game since Final Fantasy was like one of the early Nintendo games where it was like a hallway and a monster would kind of appear and you'd get your 4 options on what you wanted to do to attack the monster. It's been a while. Oh, that looks dirty. That sticker just looks dirty. All right, now we're gonna do the other side. Should have tried to do this like 2 at a time, the mirror build, and see how it would have gone. Final Fantasy is action-based, so more like Tomb Raider or Horizon Zero Dawn, because I'd be alright with that. Watching Murderbot, like if you haven't, like I said, and the show is very focused on the attitude of the robot, much like the book, but I feel like it translates better when you can like hear him thinking. I should say it, it's not a he. Hear it thinking, and it's very funny. Like it's so well written. I'm enjoying it a lot, and I feel bad because I didn't quite care for the book as much. So Star Wars Zero Company. Is that actually going to come out, or are we going to get another level 1313 game? That doesn't see the light of day. Is Zero Company going to be another shooter or another? I don't think I've seen anything about it. So I think this got missed at the beginning of the stream, but I'm going to try to get through the rest of the bags today. I don't want to have to put this off again. So this will be a long stream. Please feel free to bail or leave and come back, whatever is good for you. I may take a little break at noonish to go refresh coffee or get something to eat real quick. That's another game I never played, was Metal Gear Solid. But I did play Death Stranding, which I feel is the same sort of ennui. That's another one that should be coming out soon, the second part of that, and I'm excited for that. That was a real unique game surrounded by 7 hours of cutscenes. And I loved it. I love the music. I love the settings and sort of the whole ambiance of the game. I really leaned into like the solitary nature of the character a lot, and it sort of happened as the lockdown was going on, like was pretty fresh, and Beth kept giving me crap about why I'm playing this depressing end of the world game when the world was ending, and I'm like, I don't know, but I am. She looks up right as I'm hauling a body across the landscape. Oh, Ghost of Yotai, yes. Oh my god, yes. I'm so excited for that. So that game reminded me, the Ghost of Tsushima reminded me a lot of Zero Dawn. So much so that they referenced Zero Dawn. Like one of the outfits you could get was a Nora Brave. They called it like a scout outfit or something like that, or a seeker outfit. Sort of like what Aloy was. I feel like I'm missing. These should all be used pieces here, but maybe I'm not quite there yet. Yeah, okay. So yeah, Ghost of Yotai is going to be great. I'm excited. I'm all kinds of excited. And it's Erika Ishii is the voice, and I'm really excited that she's got the work. I think that's great for her. I had to give up on Assassin's Creed early. Like I did the first game and got so frustrated at one mission, and I think I've talked about this before. Because there is an aspect of stealth. There's some things you have to do stealth related. And it's not that I minded the stealth part of it. There were parts that I really liked. Because I don't, always like going in guns blazing and stuff. I occasionally would like to sneak around and get a kill. But there was one mission, I don't even think it was early on, maybe about 3/4 through the game, that was murdering an official of some kind, right? A merchant ruler or a religious figure or something. I don't even remember what the character was that I was supposed to kill. But like everything, you kind of have to keep an eye on them and see what their pattern is and figure out a good spot, and then that's where you do your business, right? But I followed this guy, and he had this little circuit around the town, and never really, there was a couple spots where he was more alone, but the problem was he was surrounded by like acolytes or something, and was just never in a position where I could, and you're supposed to do it without being seen. So of course I'm trying to kill this dude without being seen, and he's constantly surrounded by people. And I tried over and over and over again trying to get this to work, and I could not get it. So I gave up. I'm like, well, if the whole game's going to be like this, I'm not going to do it. And it wasn't, I'm sure. It was a lot less difficult than that, but that one, it really put me off. I just didn't want to do it after that. Which sucks, because it's a good, as far as I've heard, it's a good series and well worth kind of sticking with. And they've had 47 games. So Zero Company will be turn-based, another turn-based game. I may go back and play Outlaw. I hear Star Wars Outlaws. Got a bit of had some things fixed. They changed some of the mechanics on like when to be able to shoot on your bike when you're on a speeder. They changed like the fail state of the stealth missions. Some of the collision stuff was tweaked. Some of the music was tweaked. Some of the lighting was tweaked. There's a new DLC that came out, and I really was kind of like, I don't even think I'm going to play the DLC. I hated the game so much. Like, I played it. And, like, I was just so frustrated with everything. Which is crazy, because it's the exact kind of game that I would like. Nothing to do with Jedi, nothing to do with lightsabers. You're a smuggler in a world with your own ship, and you can go anywhere, and you can do anything you want, and there's a story, and there's missions, and, like, it was perfect. Like, this is going to be great. You have a support droid, you know, all this kind of crazy stuff. And the more I played it, the more I'm like, this just, the graphics were laughably old. I mean, they looked worse than a game that came out 10 years ago. The speeder bike, everything, when you get on a bike, it's so fast. You just run into everything. Unless you're out in the desert. Like I said, with the stealth missions would fail you with like just a little bit of detection, and I don't know. It got really frustrating after a while. So I finished the main story, and then I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to go back to this. But then apparently it got updated, and everyone's like, no, it's a really good game now. Sort of like what happened with No Man's Sky. I will not go back and play No Man's Sky. I played enough. I do not like the idea of building a base and then having to go to different... I like the mechanics of it so much. I love the idea of being able to walk anywhere on a planet. Get in your buggy and drive. Get in your spaceship and fly to a new planet or fly to a new system. Meet all the new aliens. Talk to different people at a spaceport. Go explore a new planet. All that kind of stuff. Hey, you're the first one to recognize this alien species. It's like, right on. But then it became, now you need this mineral to be able to build your base up a little more. I'm like, nope, this is where you lose me. Just the I don't like calling it bloat, but the idea of like so much stuff to keep track of just to go in and like slightly tweak your ore mineral hopper or something to be able to work more efficiently. I'm like, no. I get that kind of management game is appealing to some people, just not me. limited inventory, good story, decent graphics, open world. That's what I want, which is why Horizon and Ghost of Tsushima were great for me. And there's more like those. God of War was pretty good, but it wasn't as open world as all that. Like, you could kind of go anywhere you wanted, but once you were in a place, it was very much on a path. That's what what's its nuts? Clair Obscure was like that, where it's you kind of can go anywhere you want on the continent in the open map, but then once you get into the dungeon itself, dungeon being the little pockets of stuff, you can only go kind of in one direction. There's even ones where it opens up and it's just a static shot, and your character, it's almost like old Resident Evil where your character just walks through a static shot, and that's it. There's one little piece of gem, money, something to collect, and that's it. I'm like, a lot of work went into just that one shot and getting over here. Upcoming Lego I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to getting the is that how we're going putting this on here? I'm looking forward to getting the gold and teal classic space guys from the bubblegum machine, but I don't necessarily want the bubblegum machine. I want a K2SO. I think the K2SO comes out in August. I still would like to get the 3PO. I know that's been out for a while. I don't know. Not really. Nothing that's like jump out at me. There's no like big UCS set or anything that I want right now. There's another little baby dinosaur I think is coming out that I want to get. I like the baby dinosaur sets. They're clever and adorable. I am very excited because I got how work on real bubblegum. Well, I mean, they come in the little capsules, so as long as you put a little capsule in there. But I mean, I suppose you could put big jawbreakers in there and that would probably work. As long as you didn't leave them in there too long, so they'd get, you know, all sticky. I bet it would work. I know that I saw at a convention, at a brick rodeo, somebody had built a claw machine and it was huge. So maybe Lego's probably going to make more of those types of things. A whack-a-mole set or a skee ball. Something arcade related, you know. But yeah, I can't think, which is good. Because I can't. We've got Lugbolt coming up. Oh, our project support didn't go through. I'm really bummed. I meant to message the guy who did the design for it and express my condolences. We didn't get approved for this year, and it was really bummer because it looked like it was going to be a real fun one too. But Lego said it wasn't something that they, you know, it didn't inspire them, or it didn't, you know, so there was kind of a, not a dick message, but like kind of a, you know, yeah, this is terrible. Why did you even try kind of message? So it felt a little, felt a little gross. So hopefully that won't keep us from trying to apply next year. Eddie Jawbreaker intensifies. Yeah, and it was such a great idea. Like, at this point, I don't know what Lego wants. Like, they, I think they want more interactive stuff, which for a project support. So if you don't know about project support, and I think the few people on here already do, but if anybody who's watching this later, all right, so that and that. Project support is basically an opportunity for your lug to build a big project that's going to be a publicly facing project, a single event project or a long-term exhibit project kind of thing. And it gives you the opportunity to build and design a large-ish scale thing that the public can come look at. And the ability to get the bricks is beneficial. That's all I'm going to really say about it. It won't break anybody. And we've used it to make, in the past, big, we did the Mars base, we did the castle wall, we're currently doing the steampunk city, and this one was going to be a bunker, like a Fallout bunker, but they were all orange and white, and it would have come with a minifigure. And then the guy whose project idea it was going to custom print tiles, so your bunker had a different tile that matched your minifigure. And then the idea was you get a base unit of bunker builds, and then you can do whatever you want with it. You can decorate it, whatever. And then everybody brings it together and makes a big wall, sort of like an ant farm. And it goes on display at the convention. So when people walk by in the line or whatever, they can see this really big, and it'd be about 6 feet tall or something and yay wide. So I was really excited about it. I thought it was a good idea. But Lego said, no, the land said, that's not something that seems interesting enough to us. They could have said it better, and I have a feeling that they probably received more project ideas that maybe were better, and they could only fund a couple, so they had to make a choice, and maybe just ours wasn't enough. But and so I asked around in the other legs in Texas, and nobody else has applied for one, is going to apply for one, or hasn't applied yet. So but I'm kind of like reading between the lines about Lego stuff. I know that there's some changes coming to the LAN, and I know there's some changes coming to how lugs and locks and fan media groups kind of operate. So I'm wondering if they're putting off these things until next year to find out that there's changes going on, or honestly a little worried. I have a feeling our lug, and I haven't been given any warnings or anything to that fact, but I'm always worried that our lug is going to be one of those on the block that they say, you know what, you guys are great, but you're not doing enough for the public. Which is have you guys seen the public? The public is terrible. It's part of the thing I ran into with it was I don't know now how to get my lug interested in an event or a build if I have to tell them that it's got to be interactive. It's got to be something that the public can interact with, because then people won't really want to do anything with it. Because we have to put in our own money to get the brick, to then build something, to then put it in front of the public and it be interactive. It's but I put a lot of effort into that. I don't want somebody to just come over and smash it or something. So I think there's probably going to be a little bit of a change for that coming up. Don't exactly know how, but this is getting super complicated. There's so many twists and stuff to these not getting the studs to face different directions. This is probably more pieces than most individual sets just to get this. It's just going to go back here, Oh, and that comes over the top. Dang it. So my youngest is going to be 21 tomorrow. I am officially an old man. He will be drinking age. And we were like, hey, do you want to get together on your birthday and, have dinner or something? And he's like, oh no, I will be out getting wasted. And we're like, priorities. Everybody goes through that, I guess, once, then on their birthday, and then goes, you know what? Never again. So, gonna let him figure that out. We did have another idea for project support, but the parts list that we got from Lugbulk didn't really lend to it all that well, so we're kind of holding off. But I think maybe next year, if we decide to do it again, and we may not do it again, but might try that idea if we can get some better parts or get some designs. I just like the idea of everybody being able to contribute, but also get something back. You know, we make a really big thing and then everybody gets their pieces back, but after a really good display. And I have a feeling Lego doesn't want to do that anymore. What's up, Never Too Old? How you doing? Thanks for being here. Happy Memorial Day weekend if you celebrate. If you're in the States, if not, happy Sunday. So what is everybody else looking forward to for upcoming Lego sets, if any? Anybody got a set that's been announced that you're really keen on getting? Are you going to get it day one? Are you going to wait? Has it already come out? I was going to mention, I realized I brought it up and didn't finish it. I got a kind of a couple orders from Bricklink. I was going to say big orders, but they weren't that big. I mean, they come in, bags like that. That's how big the orders I get are. But it was for my bunch of microfighters to finish out the microfighter bits that I did that are the wrong color, or I didn't have the right part, so I kind of substituted a part. Most of it has come in. I'm able to build the 2 remaining sets that I've gone through recently, and then finish the right colors for some of the other sets. But the big thing is I got 4 really big 40 tooth gears, and I was able to gear down the motor that a friend had given me or loaned me, because I'd never done that. I should bring it over here. If you've seen the Google gearbox that the guy did, it's kind of like that. You get the smallest gear you can, and on the same wheel you put the biggest gear you can, and on the next axle you put a small gear and a big gear, and you put the small gear next to the big gear, right? So the gears, this gear's spinning really fast. This gear goes a little slower because it's bigger, and then you put that gear next to another small gear, so that spins a little bit, but then the bigger gear spins even slower. So I've got 4 of those now, and the motor goes like, it's got a certain RPM, but now I've got it to where it very slowly turns whatever else I need to. So I have to open up the top of the house, open up the lighthouse, rip out that motor and axle, and put the new stuff in there and hope it fits, and then get the wiring all taken care of. And I got to do that in about a month. So we'll see if that works. But the gearing down part of it has worked great so far. I missed a whole... I got 2... This is wrong if I've got these 2 pieces in here. Ah, that's where it is. I was missing something. Yeah, but if I get a second, I'll bring it over and plug it in so you can see what it is. If that's interesting to anybody. I don't know that that's of interest to anybody to see that. Trying to get people to do a collab video. I need lots of pictures of Lego cities for music video for my song Modular Madness, but so far no one's sending me pictures. Missy has a city. She might be able to send you some pictures. Also, I'm the wrong channel to ask because I've got nobody in here. It's still there. Put that on. That on. These 2. That guy on there. Oh, and I'm still missing that. What did I do? Is this missing on the back side here? Oh, it totally was. I don't have a Lego City, but I would happily send you pictures if I did. I just have space stuff and Star Wars stuff everywhere. So your nephew niece destroyed it a while ago. I just did a song with every set from Star Wars from '99 till now. Wow. Oh no, pneumonia stinks. I had pneumonia a lot as a not a kid, but I had mono when I was a kid. I had chicken pox, and then I got pneumonia when I was in college like 3 times. Once was a full-blown pneumonia. The other 2 were what's called walking pneumonia, which I'd never heard of until I got it. Like, oh, you have walking pneumonia, which is basically just like a lighter pneumonia. It's like it doesn't knock you out. It doesn't have the tiredness to it, I think. Or it's that it's so prevalent it is easily transmittable. I don't remember. But yeah, I had pneumonia a lot. Yes, please hit like and subscribe. Yeah, I can't believe my youngest child is 21 years old. My oldest is 24. It's just ridiculous. I have friends with babies. I'm just like, oh, you guys. Which means when it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm like, hey, everybody, let's go out. They're all like, yeah, we got the kids. And I'm like, yeah, now you know how I felt the first 20 years we all knew each other. Fine, I'm going out without you. So yeah, other than the obvious sets that are coming out that I'll probably get if they're Star Wars related and then they are decent, I don't even think I'll get most of the Star Wars sets. And with our project support not going through, at least I can focus on lug bulk, but also maybe get some other sets. Like my budget isn't so tied up in bulk buying. So we'll see how that shakes out. This was an oops, I purchased Lego kind of thing. I was like, I really want that space baby. So this was, the only reason I'm glad that we didn't get project support was because I'd already bought this. So. But let's see, we've got the Pflugerville Library event. If you're in Austin, you can come check us out June 7th at Pflugerville Library. There'll be a good amount of us there, I think. There's probably going to be eight or so people, maybe. So that'll be fun. Oh, God, which reminds me, I've got to get my thing working by, my motor and stuff working by then. I guess I know what I'm doing tomorrow instead of playing Battlefront. I'm working on that thing. Yeah, because I will need to gut it in order to get everything working properly. And I have to replace everything inside it. You should join Brick Therapy on Discord. We have content creator private chat. We share ideas and do collab videos, and you can post when you're doing lives and get more people to view. Nice. I might do that. I'm on like 5 or 6 other Lego Discords, and I post there all the time, and it really doesn't... Like, a lot of people end up posting their lives, and I get it. Not everybody can join everybody else's, but I'll look into it. Send me an invite. Um, you could make a tiny version of the bunker. Well, what I'm gonna suggest that if we have a parts list that people, if we still want to do a collaborative build for next year, there's nothing stopping us from doing it. It's just now on our own undiscounted dime to do it. So if we can, if you know, if the guy who designed it can share the parts list, we can then say, okay, well, we'll just do our own thing, and it'll be an official. It'll still be a collab. It just won't be a big Lego funded collab. But I still think it's worth doing. So I'm gonna see if he'll. I haven't talked to him in a little bit, so we'll see if he's amenable to that. All right, there's some slopage. And again, if you're new to this, this was actually a set from like the late 80s, early 90s. They had done this set already once. So this is the second time this has been done. For all you space nerds out there, I'm hoping that you are excited about this as I am. Because this was a huge thing when I was a kid. Seeing, a spaceship being carried by a plane to a launch facility was just like the future. I don't know if I can go to your... Oh, but I can go to your channel later. If I open it up in chat in here, it's going to screw up the chat. So I'll just... remind me to go later. Or go post it in Discord. Go post it in my Discord. And then everybody can join. I'm in Just Lego Things, Star Wars Lego, Sort Lego, Lego Deals. I think that's it. Oh, Brick Building, the Brick Building group. I think that's it. I don't even have Facebook anymore. It's been so like, it's been nice not being on Facebook and Instagram because I feel like my social battery isn't as tweaked. But also there's downside because now I can't get messages from people and schedule parties and get invites and look at calendars. There's no Blue Sky calendar. Nobody puts that information anywhere else other than Facebook. So like a friend of mine was going to do some karaoke and they sent me a link to this and I'm like, I can't open that. What is it? And they sent me a picture. Oh, okay. First world problems. I like these a lot. I at some point wish I could find more uses for these. It's like a really nice Futron piece if you're into Futron. Sorry, hang on real quick. Yeah, maybe in a second after this bag, I'll go check it out on Discord and then we'll live post something and be like, hey, I'm live right now. Except I'm guessing I won't be able to post. Most Discord servers are like, Yeah, you have to post 100 times or be here for a month before you can post in the here's my stream channel. Nobody likes hearing about other people's streams. Reddit will completely shut you down if you do that. Most Discord groups don't have the ability to do that, and if they do, you get banned. Which I get, you know. It's all people would join up for if they did that. Promote my stuff, man. All right, well, that's very satisfying. I look at that and go, that could have been a boat bottom. You could have done a single piece of that. There's a lot of pieces to be able to get that shape, because that's really all they're doing. And they're hiding those great new hex ring pieces inside there. I mean, I guess it's to kind of... Maybe that'll come into play later. Like they'll put some clips on there to get some more angled bits or something. We shall see. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going in there and like posting work in progress shots and things like that. It's like, help me out with this. What do you guys do for this? How do you guys sort? And we've got gray. They've got a couple gray ones too. Good slopes. Yeah, same. There's a lot that do that. It's just to weed out the people that just want to show up and spam it with the, hey, come vote for my Lego idea set, or here's my new business. Please spread the word. All these wedges and snot builds are the most satisfying to me. Like, I would do this all day. The slightly interrupted task of doing the Technic bits early on was not my favorite, but doing this kind of stuff, oh. This is my brick therapy right here. Sadly, Missy, I don't have that problem. My my Discord is not flooded with... Not even flooded with bots. Early on when I was doing streaming, when I started, I would occasionally get... And this was when I was using Restream to get Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube at the same time. I would occasionally get a bot. And I was like, that's how I know, that's when you know you've made it. You're on a bot's radar. Oh, that's so pretty. This is going to be the tail section. It's going to be clipped at an angle, and then it'll have a post of things going up. It's going to be my guess. Yeah, I'd do that. If I have the pieces for it, I sure would build that. That'd be kind of fun. I also I got in touch with Justin. We're going to be doing an interview probably next week sometime. Specific day and time to be sorted through later, but keep an eye out for that. Flip around and do the same thing?
Oh, no, guess not.
Now flip around and do the same thing. All right, so this is a large plane. How big the plane is, arm for comparison. All right, take care, man. Thanks for the invite and thanks for the information about the thing. I hopefully will join. You have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Bag 12. All right. So, if my math is right, we did 3 bags in an hour. That's pretty good. But again, it's all system and big wedge pieces, so we're making good progress. Can't wait for the wings. Well, once the wings are done, I feel like the wings are going to be the last thing. Once the wings are done, the whole thing's going to be done. The wings, and so these little toe clips in there, that's what's going to go onto these guys. So it's going to be like that, about that big. So, not as big of a footprint as the Concorde, but close. It's pretty close. Oh, these are printed. Nice. I thought these were going to be stickers, so I'm really glad. In looking at the box, I thought these were going to be stickers. So I'm glad they aren't. That is a nice surprise. There, we still have quite a bit of fuselage to go here. There's this whole thing under here. There's a whole thing under here. There's all of this coverage. So we still got a ways to go. We still got 4 bags after this. Aha, and here we go with the 11. 2. 8, 9, 10, 11. Very cool. That's super satisfying. And we're back to sub-assemblies. I hope there's not like 8s and 10s in here. It's just or 8s and 12s. It's just 6s and 10s. I don't want to have to accidentally do an 8 in here. But I think last week I talked about there is a YouTube channel, Vintage Space. I think it's called Vintage Space. But I think she changed it to just her name, but I don't remember what her name is. I may look it up here in a second so everybody has access to it. She's the one who was talking about last week having that like hour-long or hour and a half or more long episode about politics and spaceflight, and the reason there's so much politics in spaceflight. And when people comment, you need to keep your politics out of NASA or spaceflight or something like that. Your channel is, you talk so much about politics. It's like, well, we have to. Without politics, there is no spaceflight, really. Which is now not the case. Now there's private stuff, but there's still a bit of, you know, they do it as a contract for NASA, and NASA's still government funded and all that. Still very interesting. And if you haven't seen the loveliness that is the show For All Mankind, if you have Apple TV, I would highly recommend it. And here we are with the interior, these hexagon rings. We're going to clip these onto those. Look how nice that is. Look how nice that angle is. That's just lovely. Really, really well done. Super slick. I mean, this is a good model for basically if you wanted to do rockets, how to get a nice cylindrical look without using round pieces. You can use curved slopes, but you could use like angled pieces, you know, just clipped in like that too, to get the same effect. I can hear the barn swallows outside yelling at each other. The babies have grown. They are but days away from leaving the nest. So yeah, the clips and then the rings in there, these just sit right in there if you can line them up right. The problem is they don't make a nice clip, clink sound, so you just kind of have to hope that they're in there right. And the rings, what the clip attaches to on the rings is the ring space is very small. The bar is very small. And 11 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just sent you the PDF with the instructions for the Warhound. I heard my phone go off. That's sweet, man. Thank you. I will source the parts, and then we'll have the next time I do a stream this coming Thursday. I won't be on, but maybe that Sunday after, we can do it then. And I could probably do that. Plus the parts for the other two microfighters will be here. So we'll just do kind of a build stream. I think that'd be nice. What else is going on in the world? It's a lot of soccer for me, so I've been watching that. I've been out of the hockey viewing because I don't care about any of the teams that are in it, except to know that Dallas just looks like they're going to win everything. I don't know if Florida is going to be able to stop them. I know the Oilers aren't going to be able to beat them. It just is looking more like Dallas is going to win the whole thing, and I hate it. And yes, I live in Texas, but I'm not a Dallas Stars fan. Never have been. Mostly because growing up in Colorado, like, we didn't get a hockey team until I had moved to Texas. Like, the year after Colorado got the Avalanche, I moved to Houston. So I was only in, and we got the Avs in '96, and they won the Cup. So, like, that was the only time I was able to really celebrate the Cup in Colorado. So satisfying. I love it. The time they won in 2001, we were in Houston, and we were at a bar with my daughter, my oldest, and they were a child at the point, or they were a baby at that point, because they would have been a month old maybe, and we found a bar that was playing the Cup in Houston, and they weren't playing the Stars, it was the Devils. So I mean, it was kind of, you just had to find a bar that was sympathetic to hockey. So we brought them in their car seats, and they were asleep most of the time. My laptop's fan sounds like it wants to die. That reminds me, so I've got to run my new motor with my geared down this is not like clipping in really well like I want it to. A little gap there, but that's okay otherwise. It makes a horrid sound, and I'm hoping being encased in the building, it's a lot less obvious, but it's pretty loud. And I'm worried that it's loud because it's straining. So I don't want it to tax itself too much, but we'll have to see. Oh, here we go. I just don't know if running that thing for a full day will ruin it or anything, so I'm hoping it doesn't, because it's not mine. Let's go here. And I'd hate to have to then go buy the dude another motor because I blew out his. But we'll see. It might be okay. That is so satisfying. What a great shape. What a great shape to the fuselage. I don't even mind this little hinge right here, kind of. It's going to be hidden by the shuttle. But that's just lovely. Alright, I'm going to flip this over. We're probably going to do very much the same thing on this. 4. Ooh. Round 1x3 round plates. Nice. Haven't seen these in a while. Used to get a lot of these. We don't anymore. So this guy's going to fit in here. Doesn't look like it goes in all that well. Oh wait, because it doesn't go in there. I got this backwards. Shoe. Like there's a whole piece that's wrong right there. Cool. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. If I have any questions, I'll reach out to you. Yes, you can still see the Boeing at Houston at NASA Space Center. There's a guy in our lug who he used to work for NASA and now he works for a contractor for NASA doing like data management stuff basically, but he is the person who is in charge of all the inventory that is sent to and received from the International Space Station. So anytime there's inventory management for the space station, that's his job. And it always throws me, like I always forget, like to me he's just Brian. But he was talking to somebody who was new to the lug and he was like, oh yeah, I do blah blah blah, so yeah, I know what they do here in this part of this thing. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, you used to do that. So when we did our big Mars base, I was like, hey man, you should, if you got some contacts, because you used to live in Houston, if you got your contacts at Johnson, you should let them know about this thing and see if they'd want us to like display it at NASA or something. Never really heard back about that. So your fan is either dirty, misaligned, or way too, like you're overclocking your machine. It could be any one of those. It's always weird to kind of try to figure out. The fans in my computer have actually started, or the drive has started, I can hear it kind of going like that. I'm like, ugh, time to get a new drive. Right there. Now this is the underside of a Lego set done right. Like they've flipped it. There's lots of snot going on, so you can actually put the right kind of slopes and stuff to keep it smooth and looking not just like the underside of a ship. So I appreciate the level of craftsmanship in this. And that bag is done. Oh, so satisfying. That's very nice as well, the underside of that. Still a little bit to... We're probably not going to get coverage of the landing gear. It's probably going to remain open because I think in order for it to land or be in a display position, they probably want it just to be able to be accessed easier. All right, so bag 13. One of these is going to be a stand too, so even that won't take long to build. Uh-oh, we got a gear in here. I'm a little bummed. My youngest birthday is tomorrow, like I said. I ordered a present for him. This is so cool. It's see pieces like this. We got a barrel and we've got a heart. We got these two rad pieces in white. These have so far only come in gray that I've seen, so that's really cool. All right. The orbiters were placed on top of the SCAs by Mate Demont Services. Large gantry-like structures that hoisted the orbiters from the ground and then mated them with the SCA. The large gantries that, if you were to believe the legends, are what inspired Lucas to make AT-ATs. Large cranes you see. I just ordered like a bunch of these gray ones for microfighters. It says go straight across. We'll see what happens when I get that in there. Trying to remember like the year of this, because this was 81 or 79. It was a lot older than I remember it being. It's a nice bit of construction right there. Oh, excuse me. Favorite part of the build so far? Getting the landing gears to work was pretty good, but I think I'm gonna go with this section right here and how it was put together and how the foundation for putting that piece in there was made in like the first 2 bags with those hexagonal plates with the bars around them. This kind of design feature is what separates this from, like, I feel lower price point models of Lego, where it's bricky, it's blocky, it shows a lot of studs, or it's single piece 4+ sets kind of thing. I really like that all the way across here. So far, the shuttle's good too, but again, it's these sections that are the nicest for me. The kind that use kind of newish, but not so specialized that you can't use them elsewhere. Pieces like these curved wedge pieces. So I like this shape right here a lot. Turns out there's a mock somebody made of the shuttle for something. I don't know if it was with the solid rocket boosters and the tank, or if it was another one of these that they did, but the footprint from here to the nose tip is the exact same size as this. Same size and shape. So somebody was paying attention to mock builders out there. Or this was designed by the person who did it originally as a mock or something. So it will look great with the Concorde. My problem is this is 2 rather large footprints of things, and I don't think I could get it to be on the same table as the Concorde is right now without making some serious adjustments. Oh, bigger than that. All right, cool. Yeah, I'll be here for probably another couple hours, so whenever you can get back, I should be here. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. And yeah, if I don't see you, I'll make sure to get the parts. I'll look into getting the parts for that robot. For your Warhammer? What did you call it? It's back here in the chat. Warhound Mark II. Oh, these are the wings. Oh, we're already doing the wings. Sweet. I'm here for it. Let's go. Bunch of stuff going on in Discord right now. I will check that out as soon as the stream is done. Had to message a friend, sorry. He was wanting to know if we want to do Barks for beers today, and I was like, no, I'm doing this, and then got my kiddo's birthday. Can I say kiddo? Which means don't text me. I saw a great build on Reddit. It was an Edge of Tomorrow model, and it was just two minifigures, but it had the Edge of Tomorrow suits on, and the way they did like the over-the-shoulder cannon with a bunch of roller skates on it, looked so good. I was kind of jealous. Like, that is a really, really good small build, my friend. Am I gonna go see Lilo and Stitch? Maybe. That'd be the one. I was telling Beth, that'd be the one live action I'm actually excited about seeing. It looks pretty good. My only complaint is that they couldn't really do Pleakley and the scientist guy the same way as they did in the original. Also with Pleakley being like a cross-dressing alien, was part of his charm, but they aren't going to do that, so it's a little disappointing. But the rest looks great. Yo, dog, I hear you like sub-assemblies. Here's 15 call-outs in a row. Don't lose track. Yeah, not a huge... I feel bad for the Snow White live action. That went absolutely nowhere. Like, that came out like a little while ago. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. But Lilo and Stitch looks pretty good. I saw someone say they made Snow White so they could make Lilo and Stitch. But the days of me seeing Disney stuff are kind of, especially stuff geared towards younger kids. And the live action isn't necessarily geared toward younger kids, but it's geared towards people who were young when Lilo and Stitch came out, of which I was not. My kids were young, but I wasn't. So even then, it's not nostalgia for me. Aladdin was nostalgia for me. Honestly, Jungle Book was nostalgia for me, but that was kind of before my time, but they just kept airing it. So it's not as important for me to see that as it's not geared toward me, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, this is right here. Oh goodness, look at that. That's some fine-tuned something. And then we've got well, that's not going to be on there very long. Oh, shit. I have a feeling this should have gone on before that piece. Okay. Because I have to push that down, but in pushing that down, it pops this other whole contraption off. I don't know that I like the way this is. This isn't lining up. I've got this weird gap. It's because I got that on wrong. There we go. Now it fits. Excuse me. Very throat cleary right now. Yeah, I don't know if the camera's picking it up or the mic is picking it up, but the birds outside are mad at something. Oh, and what a delightful... Okay, so there's this little gap right there, and there's this little tile, and it just fills in the little gap right there. That's so delicious. This is the kind of design quality that gets me all heated. I really like it, and I wish I could do that. Really, really good wings on this. And again, plates, not Technic pieces. Plates, just plates. They tend to pull up a little bit. So I've mentioned this before. If you've got a model of plain wings and they're big wings, it's better to do them with plates than with Technic, because the plate is heavy, but the plate clutch will pull itself up like this, so it'll counteract whatever weight you've got. Lovely. Flip it over. Got a boat bottom. And another wing. Be able to see where that attaches. Half the time, half the struggle is lining up, because it's hard to tell where exactly everything lines up. That over. Got here and here. 3 tile. You okay over there, Pumpkin? Ah ha 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 ha. And now flip it over, and 3 pillars, 3 Technic holes right in there. And I'm guessing these clip down in that. So then there's another clip those bars clip down into there, and it gives it a nice angle for the wing to come up slightly. That's just, so this whole section pivots. So this is straight out, but the wing pivots a little right here, and then it's being held in by that. Gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Yeah, got that done. Okay. Lego Tours Knee, hello, how are you? Thanks for being here. Yes, this is a really a lovely model so far. A lot of great techniques, a lot of great just enough like technique, a lot of really good forethought into like how it looks underneath or from the front or from the side, the shape of the fuselage. It's just a delight so far. I'm really enjoying this model. How are you, Lego Tours? Oh, it's just one of these. I need more of these like angled tiles in my life. Like a lot. They would be good, so good with microfighters. Don't even know. They're filling so many gaps. In fact, I want to go unearth all my microfighters and just find where I can have those tiles to fill in. It's going to be the initial mounts for the jets, engines, of which we're probably doing these right now. NI, Tours NI. Is NI a country code? It's not a state code, but I don't recognize NI. Why is that not going in there? There we go. That was a little rough. But that for sure is not going anywhere. All right, this is ×2. Do some jet engines here. And then it'll be the other wing. I feel like I could have been doing this whole thing mirror, but that would have been a lot of different bags of parts, and I think it would have just taken longer to organize everything. The birds, you take my word for it, the birds are going nuts. So I don't know if it's a because the baby birds are now grown out of their angry finger puppet phase. It's a nest of barn swallows, and the nest is only about that big, and then there's a time when they pop out and they are angry finger puppets because they've got this beak that just makes them look like these angry Muppets. For a while you can go out, and as soon as I open the front door, they're on like underneath the eave of the roof. As soon as I open the door, the nest goes like all these finger puppets come out thinking that there's going to be food for them, and I have to disappoint them by going, nope, I don't have any. But I think the screeching out there now is because I think there are 3 adults, and because we joke because there's it's a throuple, because when I come home at night there are 3 birds sleeping nearby, I mean, they all get fed, so I don't think it's a problem. But I think there's some feeding going on right now, and they're all just yelling at each other. It's pretty cute. So far, nobody's been ejected from the nest prematurely, so I haven't had to pick up any dead birds, which is always nice. 3 bags left. Yeah, we've done 5 bags in 2 hours, so we got 3 bags left. I think another hour, and then maybe a space baby. Maybe a space baby. How do you want me to do this here? If you guys want to hang around, there will be a space baby. Don't roll away. Don't roll away. Nice jet. Good use of barrels here. Let's go all the way in like that. All right. I like how this has got this thing lined up that says this is how they should be lined up. It's like, no kidding. I guess it's not obvious to everybody. All right. Those seem like, I know a 747's jets are not massive compared to the plane. Like the fuselage itself is much bigger, but it just seems like, and this is an older aircraft, 70s, 80s aircraft. So I think the intakes are a lot bigger than they used to be. This just seems like small engines compared, but it's pretty rad. Bag 14. I'm gonna turn this over. Give myself more room over here. I have to keep an eye on my little dog. She disappeared, and I want to make sure she wasn't going somewhere to poop. So I'm guessing that this will be the wing, the engines, and then we've got to finish up the tail, and then the stand. I think bag 15 will be the tail, bag 16 will be the stand. So I appreciate everybody coming by as always. If you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I do live builds or design work in studio, digital Lego designing, twice a week, Thursday evenings, Sunday mornings. And would love to entertain any questions about any of that, designing or collecting or whatever's on your mind. I don't have a next big design in mind other than more microfighters, more Q2 Stadium. I feel like I've got off my Horizon kick for a little bit, so I may want to revisit that. I'm still a little bummed about the really, really good frost claw design that I saw. That's still kind of bothering me until I figure that out on my own. I may do some other stuff. As Beth would say, you know, you could go into therapy. I'm like, yeah, but I have Lego. I didn't put that on. This is my therapy. Just so happens that somebody else's genius got in the way of my therapy. 5. Beth is constantly trying to get me to go into therapy. As a therapist, she probably should. That's her job. Where she's at right now. That's one thing I don't think I could ever do. Is be a therapist. I think I could. I think I got the empathy for it. I think I would absolutely be able to identify with whatever someone is going through and be with them during their process. But I feel like it would just wear on me too much. Like it's not. It's a combination of both the knowledge, the psychological knowledge. How many of these? 12. To do the job well, but also be able to compartmentalize it when you're done. Be able to distance yourself from it and say, that's not my problem, that's their problem. They're working through it. I don't need to internalize those issues. And I think that would be one of my big problems is I'm kind of a doer. Like, well, what can I do to help you? And that's not what it's about. It's about being present for the person and then helping them discover and work with available tools. And I would just be frustrated at them for, well, why didn't you, you know what you need to do, why aren't you doing it? I'm gonna make a ska band called 3 Bags Left. It's gonna be a nerdy ska band. It's gonna be all about Lego and Lego related ephemera. There's a lot of math rock, but I don't think there's any Lego rock. Yeah, I kind of made myself sad realizing that I've got basically... Well, I got 2 weeks. I got 2 weeks to fix my steampunk build so I can bring it to the library. Because if it doesn't work there... didn't do that right at all. It's not, I'm not going to have a really solid chance of it working at Brick Rodeo either. So, hopefully... should be fine. as is most cases with building Lego or being artistic about something, the only person, everybody will like it. That's the thing that I've learned, is that, well, not everybody will like it, but people will see it and either like a thing that you've done or will just move on. Their eyes will glance over it. Nobody's going to stick on that one point of going, well, had they only done this, right? That's wrong. Got that all wrong. Oh, that's why. I don't know why I was doing so poorly with this construction. I'm not paying attention. I just got a text from Beth saying that it was very bad there today at the clinic. She's like, I'm hoping that I can be done in time, because we're supposed to go do dinner. Birthday dinner. And she doesn't have tomorrow off, so it's just going to be a busy day, and that kind of sucks. Because mental health does not need to take a holiday. Apparently. So I've been told. Oh, hi. How are you? You gonna go back to sleep in your pillow here? She's like, yeah, I was cozy in that other room, but I was by myself, so I'm back. My human wasn't there with me. Flip. So what TV shows are y'all watching, if any? Any good bingeable shows out there that I should be paying attention to? Because I'll just sit here and talk about Murderbot and Pantheon and Common Side Effects all day. Unless there's something else I should be watching. Oh, we watched... So a client of Beth's said that they were watching this show called Mr. Plankton. And at first I thought it was a SpongeBob reference, because that's all I think about when I hear plankton. But it's a K-drama, and it is bonkers. It's just the weirdest thing I've seen. And not because, like, it's surreal or anything. Like, it's no more interesting conceptual-wise than, say, Ally McBeal or Pushing Daisies or, you know, something like that. But it's just kind of all over the map. Like, the editing's really weird, and all the characters' motivations are really weird. And this is as a Westerner watching it. There are things that I don't understand why certain things are happening, or why character development certain ways is so important, but I feel like it's a Korean thing. Like, whatever I don't get, it's just because, well, that's what they do in Korea. And I really haven't been able to quantify that as, is there an American alternative or American equivalent? Like, why do you guys say this in movies, or why do you act like this in movies? I'd really like to do a study on that somehow. I'm not even a film person, but there's just certain things where like you're watching anime or you're watching a K-drama or something like that, and something happens, somebody says something, or the music kicks in because something happens, and you're like, well, this is important, but I don't know why. Like, why was that such a big deal that happened like that? You know, is it a family honor thing? Is it a tradition thing? Is it a superstition thing? Is it a taboo? I'm sure it's one of those. But this show just seemed to be full of that. Like, we had no idea why things were like set up the way they were. They were introducing characters really weirdly. The one guy, like the main character, was like very attractive, but also very nihilistic and didn't really care about anything. And so like he was getting his butt kicked by what we thought was like crime lord lady and her henchmen, but he didn't care. He's like, yeah, I'll take a cigarette now, you know. And you're just like, why are you so nonchalant about this? It was nuts. We didn't watch more than the first episode. I was like, I don't think I can take another one of these, but I'm so intrigued about what's happening. All right, time to attach the wing. And again, you probably have to bend it up a little bit, because it's flush like that, but bend it up just slightly so you can fit it in there, and then clip down the those pieces in there. Oh, so satisfying. Look at that. Look at that. Would you look at that? See how the wings are kind of coming up a little bit? That's so nice. All right, engine time. A couple other pieces over here to do. I have a feeling this is going to be for the stand. I have a feeling that the stand's going to go right here and hold this up right there. I'm excited. Excuse me. I do like that everything is based off angles of plates. This clips into here because there's an angle of a plate and it keeps this from closing, and the angle of this tile keeps it from opening. So it's very snug. Not going anywhere. Just really good design overall. I do apologize for the current phlegminess I'm getting. Why is that wrong? Oh yeah, that's not on there right at all. Oh, this is going to be a problem getting these off. These are not on there right. Easy fix. We're all good. Was it actually on? No. Get in there. Yeah, get in there. Yeah. Alright, need to be able to see all the parts here. Stop rolling away. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I thought I had this thing leveled. I may have to go back and redo it. It may have like lowered over the years. It's almost getting too big to be on the camera, but I don't know how else to get it to be displayed. Guess I could raise the camera a little bit. We'll see. So I thought if I ran a long stream, I would have some people show up later that usually show up with 10 minutes to go in the stream. And then I could be like, hey, we're going to be here for a little longer. That does not appear to be the case. I do not see my cliff or my Zissou. They are ne pas ici, as they say in Francais. Boy, that guitarist found one lick and stuck with it, didn't they? Kai. I don't know why this is so hard to get past this. There we go. Yeah, these engines, I mean, this is the only part I feel like they look fine, but they almost feel like an afterthought. They're so small and delicate and could fall off at any moment. Alright, so we're putting the landing gear out. I say put the landing gear out. That's what we're gonna do. Boom. Pretty good. It's a pretty aircraft. Very well designed aircraft. A very well designed aircraft. Yeah, nice. Nice. All right, so we're on bag 15. This is probably going to be the tail. Yeah, and I don't like I said, I think back in the day, I feel like engines were just smaller. Like they had to work harder, which is why this was probably such a big deal. I mean, I don't know. We'll take a look at pictures of 747s. The first SCA was retired to Space Center Houston in 2012. It was dismantled into several major pieces and transported in what they called the Big Move. So this is going to be some Technic and mostly, and some pin and clip to make the tail. And I ordered a bunch of these. I'm glad I got these for my Fiend Fighter Microfighter. These are slowly becoming some of my favorite pieces, so you can do stuff like circular. You put two of these together like that, and you've got a way to make a six-sided something. I do feel like jet engines, commercial jet engines, have gotten bigger in recent years. So it could be just we just look at the plane and say, since we're so used to them being probably about twice this size, I would say. But also I have to remember, this is a massive plane. 747s are humongous. Like, I forget how big they are, because we're so used to flying the little Airbuses and 727s and stuff commercially. I forget sometimes 747s exist, and they're huge. I rarely get on a 747 flying to like Denver or, that's usually the only place I fly, sadly. Because it's just a short flight. They don't need to fill up that many people. Can already tell that they're going to use that to go into these little Technic. All right, so this is one thing that I have a problem with so far. This front landing gear collapses really easily. Like, it does not want to stay down there. I'll have to go look online and see if anybody's got a solve for that or something. It just feels like every little jostle and it's like, nope, I'm gonna fall over now. Same. Like, I don't remember the last time I was on a plane. We may have gone to, yeah, I don't remember. It was obviously not that great of a trip, whatever it was. Now I can't even remember where we flew. We flew to see our friends get married in Mexico. I've driven up to Denver a couple times, and Beth flew, but I didn't fly. We drove to St. Louis. We've driven to Kentucky. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of sad. I would like to fly more. I'm not a very good flyer. Flying wise, I'm fine, but I don't like airports. Airports are stressful. The hurry up and wait atmosphere of an airport is, you're carrying everything with you that you need to go to a place, and Just getting to where you need to be is such a chore. Oh my goodness. My throat's starting to get a little irritated. Look at that. If you haven't done that combination in tiles, the triangle with the home plate, very cool. Very nice. I saw a full-blown trailer for Tron Ares the other day in front of Thunderbolts. I'm so excited for that movie. I know it's probably not going to be great, and I don't hate Jared Leto as an actor, but I know he's kind of an issue. But I didn't see him doing anything in the trailer other than look kind of cool with a Tron-like outfit on. But I'm really hoping that it's not. Well, it would have been a good movie if it wasn't for Jared Leto, you know. Because I mean, everything else looks great, and the Nine Inch Nails soundtrack, the one song that I heard, sounded great. I know everybody gave it a bunch of garbage, or a bunch of guff, but I was like, it sounds great, you guys. I don't understand what you're saying. I'm excited. It's going to be a long wait till October. But yeah, like Cheryl and Claire they fly everywhere for women's soccer games. They fly everywhere. And they're constantly flying places. Like every other week, they're going someplace. And I don't know that it's a sustainable thing, and I don't know if they know that it's, not borrowed time or something, but like, oh, these are the ailerons. Or the rudder, the flaps in the back. But I get a little envious of like them traveling everywhere. But they are good travelers. They're smart. They know how to maximize their airline miles and credit cards and things like that. So, plus half the time they're going to a place as a business expense because they're printing patches to give to NWSL players or the women's national team. So they could say this was a business trip. But that you have to pay for it ahead of time in order to be able to write it off the following year. You're not Michael from Schitt's Creek. It's a write-off. They just write it off. Who writes it off? I don't know. The government write-off people. One of my favorite lines from that whole thing. But, Beth and I have lots of plans to travel to places, but she's got a work schedule that just doesn't allow her to, and she bounced around for some jobs for a little bit because the companies that she worked for were terrible, poorly managed. And it's hard to be a therapist to get time off because that's a little thing I didn't know. So this piece right here, a pretty common old piece. I didn't realize it had that jig, that cutout to fit that piece right there. I don't know if that's new or... Because I thought the other pieces were just straight across right there. But that's kind of nice. So yeah. We would like to go to the UK. That is one place that we've decided we both would like to go. I think we're both okay going to Paris. But also just kind of some places in the United States. Would be nice. Jurassic Collectors, hello, how are you? Thank you for being here. I hope you're having a good weekend. This isn't Mike, is it? Is this Mike? Jurassic Collectors? I hope it is, otherwise I just outed myself for being weird. Yeah, nice long weekend for everybody. I'm not Mike. Okay, let me explain why I thought you were. Because I knew a guy, and he is on he's on my Discord server, and we kind of became friends on a comic book art site called Pencil Jack, and his handle was Jurassic Todd. And I know he also is a maquette, figure, statue collector, right? Figurine collector. So I put those two together. But hello, Jurassic collectors. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming by. Are you a Lego collector? Do you like collecting, building Lego, collecting minifigs? What's your into the fandom? Kind of into Lego. Are you into space paraphernalia? You collect classic space stuff. All right. Again, just an ever so slight raising of the wing angle there. The the number 3 Technic connector plus whatever angle these triple axle pieces come out as. You can see it's got a slight raise to it. If I get the angle right on the camera, it's got a slight raise to it. You do Jurassic World toys in Ninjago. So like these guys, Jurassic World. This was Jurassic World Chaos Theory. It was that cartoon that ran. And then I got the T-Rex one too. Those are the only ones I get. They are adorable. I haven't gotten anything else though. All right, so we've got the tail now can go back here. It's a great way to do that. There's 3 clips in here. That is my guess for how the full tail fin is going to go up. And we're going to put a couple big stickers on this Mo. That's your profile pic. It is. Nice. There's a new one coming out, isn't there? A Diplodocus or something? Or is it already out? And you just collect anything having to do with that, right? Figures, lunchboxes, socks. Not just Lego. See, I can't really see your profile pic. It looks like, because it's very small. Yes. Cool. Well, welcome. Are you having a good weekend? You get a long weekend? Even napkins. So did you watch the Chaos Theory cartoon? Is it worth watching? I like the sets. I like the little Lego sets. So, and I saw a clip of it and it looked okay. So this is getting to the point where how they made the Shuttle Tidarium, the Lambda class shuttle, with a brick built tail, instead of just a big wedge plate, because with a brick built tail you can have the same side, either side, versus a wedge plate you have anti-studs and studs, so it's not as easily decoratable as the other way. Camp Cretaceous. When you were 5. Oh my goodness, you must be a little one. Yeah, I've heard the phrase Camp Cretaceous, so that... Never got into any of that. The movies were fine. Like, I liked the movies. But I also didn't get into the smaller Star Wars Lego or the Star Wars cartoons that ended up being some Lego stuff, like the Jedi or the Yoda Chronicles or whatever. So there's a lot of stuff that I've missed. I mean, I graduated high school the year the original Jurassic Park came out, so I'm ancient comparatively. And it's starting to show. It's starting to show. I still go back and watch the original Jurassic Park and just marvel. I know they got the dinosaurs wrong. You know, we've had discoveries since then that have said, no, this is not what dinosaurs look like. But man, when that movie came out, that was like we were just blown away. Big old hair on that. How did I get a hair on that so quick? And me manhandling it's not going to make it better. Good gravy. Ugh, gross. Clear sticker applications on white. Just doesn't look good. I have Star Wars for some reason. Oh, hate Star Wars for some reason. Gotta go, but I did sub and I'll be back. Okay, cool. Thanks for the sub, and I'll be here for another little bit, and I'll build a baby spaceman. So if you're back by then, we'll do a baby space guy. And we'll talk about hating Star Wars, because that will not stand. I don't care. Everybody likes what they like. I'm not here to yuck yums. When I tell people I'm not a fan of like Wes Anderson movies, they're like, why? But have you seen? And I'm like, yes, I have seen and don't like. Why are you trying to like, stop trying to make fetch happen. Yeah, got a space baby. Right, chaw, space baby. We'll do that when this is done. As everyone's reward for hanging out. Already did that. I'm losing track of where this all needs to go. Sub-assemblies of sub-assemblies. I got those stickers facing the right way. Okay, the 8, not the 6, or the 6, not the 4, or the 6, not the 3. Which tile do you need me to do here? I'm guessing the 8s. Alright, we got another tile here. And this is 1. Really doesn't matter what direction this goes. The big sticker. Which means it's going to try to adhere itself before I even get it lined up. That was not too bad. I don't know if you can see, but it leaves this like ridge of bubbles in there. You can't really see it, it's all washed out. It's like might be better up here. No? It doesn't look great, is all I'm saying. Well, that's an interesting way to do it. Put your fishing reels back there and attach the tile that way. That's like something I would do. Oop. All right. And then after this tile, the only thing left are the panel stickers for the stand. Which again, I'm bummed that those are not printed. Sad that those are, we've got to get stickers for those. Alright, that's pretty cool. I told Beth I was going to stream for long today. A little longer time. I was like, maybe like 4 hours. We'll see how it goes. And she's like, why? I'm like, because I can? Because you're not going to be here. Hey, Boot Knife, welcome back. We boot knife. We all boot knife. All of us boot knife. Like, you're going to be at your sessions until like 4. What am I going to do? He's like, you can hang out with the dogs. I'm like, I'm going to hang out with the dogs. It doesn't matter. All right, so I'm going to move this over here so you can see it being attached. Got those 3 bars. Got these 3 clips. And I'm going to do 1 clip first and then lower it onto the other 3 clips. And Bob's your uncle. There's not a satisfying, right? It just kind of goes thunk and it's in there. So, and we got some stabilizers going over here. Boot Knife, welcome back. We're gonna do a space baby as soon as this guy's done, which should be in about 10-15 minutes, because the plane is pretty much done. This goes straight up, and this goes on like this, and then we'll repeat. And assuming there are no more plane parts, your plane is done. So there it is. And again, that landing gear kind of falls over a little bit. The center of the weight right here, That's probably where the stand is going to go. So we'll retract the landing gear, but that's why there's so many landing gear right there, is that's the center of mass. Boom. It's sizable. It's pretty heavy. This is jam-packed with stuff. And it's a lot of stuff that makes it so you can make this nice round fuselage. And all these nice wedge pieces to make it work really nice. And the internal workings for the landing gear. So, turned out really good. We're going to put the shuttle on now. Got these sockets on either side here. It'll fit in here. And again, not the satisfying clip, but there you go. That's your space shuttle carrier aircraft. 747 NASA. Yeah, so it's about as wide as the Concorde, but maybe not as long. The Concorde's probably another 4 or 5 inches long, but it's just as wide on the back end, I think. It's a really, really well done model. There are a few stickers, and I'm not super happy about it, but overall look is lovely. This will be a great addition to all the space stuff in and around here. So now let's work on the stand. Yeah, if you can, I would recommend this set. Mostly for the building techniques. A lot of great snot, wedge plate, wedge hinge, things to make it look, you know. Back in the day, when we were doing wings and stuff, our wings were straight across because we either had a big wing piece from Lego or we just had a bunch of like wedge pieces, and it was very hard to get them to like be in slightly different angles. So the fact that it tapers back, is slightly bent up, has like a different section in here. This blows my 10-year-old brain apart, knowing that this is what Lego has been able to do since then. So very, very excited. And as kind of a space nerd, I also appreciate the significance of the model itself. And as a Lego designer, I am jealous of the skill. I'm like, man, that's really smart. That's really good. We'll knock this stand out, and then we'll do a space baby, which you're all here for. Went through 3 streams and a long Sunday stream just to be able to see a space baby. So a friend of the channel, Johnny Belds, is ordering parts to do different colored space babies. So keep an eye on his channel. He will probably be doing something about that soon. I think currently he's interviewing a couple Lego Masters from his lug, from Steel City Lug. Kathy, Katie, and Marciel from Steel City Lug. He has a short interview up now, and I think he did a longer one more recently. I always feel like they should do the stand first, because as a Lego aficionado, as a Lego lover, person who likes Lego, I always feel like the stand is kind of an anticlimactic way to end a build. Like, you want it to be like bam, we got that shuttle on the plane. We put everything on the stand. It's good, you know. I guess it's like writing a book. This is the denouement period. This is the epilogue. Gives you a little time to cool off and appreciate the model while it's sitting there. Ooh. I'm starting to get that you need to eat something headache, but we're so close to being done. The reason why this had to go was to help move a lot of old wood. Interesting. Like just firewood, cordwood, pallet wood. Somebody doing a project, need to get off their farm or needed to get it to a shop or something. These pieces, there's two uses for these pieces that I've been able to find. In brown, it's for trees, and in black, it's for big set stands. I haven't seen anybody else use these for anything else. You could probably use these for, like, if you did them right, as a circle piece with a big arch over the top. You could do a hobbit hole. And I don't know if that was actually what was used in the Hobbit side or not. But they always crack me up with those pieces because it's like that's the use for them. So yeah, Tron coming up. There's so much like new TV that I want to watch. I saw a trailer for Foundation. Season 3 is coming, and I'm very excited about that. Apple TV, like, if you like science fiction, Apple TV is where it's at, man. They've got For All Mankind, Foundation, Severance, now Murderbot. I think there was one other one that everybody likes. I have to go check it out. Good shows on there. Meanwhile, I don't know the last time I watched anything on Netflix. I think I'm watching Pantheon on Netflix. But when that's over, I don't know that I'm watching anything on that. Oak wood and plywood that started to rot. So you just had to move it to the trash. Are you going to burn it? This is when you know the stand is serious. Because it's got Technic lift arms in it. This is why I hate Technic. It's so finicky. Goodness gracious. Birds are back at it again. I can hear them out there. We loaded into a truck bed and it was brought to a transfer station. Okay, cool. I would have burned it, but I'm sure somebody else will find a use for it. Okay. I guess this has to be kind of a weird stand because it's got to hold up a different center of mass, but also display two different signs. So I'm guessing that was a bit of a challenge for them to come up with that. But I mean, even this stand itself is quite the ingenuity project. A lot of studs on the sides. Get a couple of these pieces. Underrated pieces. I feel underutilized. I wanted to get more of these pieces in the Mars base. And I don't remember why we didn't have a whole lot of them. Says it's live. Yeah. Well, now it says it's at the end of the stream, so I don't know if it's actually doing anything or not. Huh? Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. It just suddenly got a message that says, "Nah, you're down now." Well, I'm at the whim of whatever connection availability and software and whatever, so yeah, it said like I got a message that said Prism Studio wasn't receiving enough video information, and I don't know what that means. So viewers would experience buffering. Your guess is as good as mine. My guess is I had an interruption of ISP service and it had to reconnect. So okay. Oh, we're so close to being done. I can feel it. We got two big platform pieces and a sticker. These two stickers and we're good to go. Can't do this without taking my glasses off. These are solid stickers, so they're not going to be as grubby looking as the clear stickers on white, but you can super tell when they aren't lined up really well. You can see the outlines of them a little differently, but crushed it. And you can't see fingerprints on this as easily on the black. Right on. So this goes like so. And like so. Shuttle carrier, shuttle orbiter, doesn't really matter. Plane on it. So pick this up. Knew that was going to happen. Should we get all our pieces? because now I'm gonna have to rebuild this. That came apart real well, didn't it? I think that's an extra piece, but I don't know. Okay, so this is gonna go. I'm going to try to redo a lot of these. So word to the wise, that doesn't really hold on if you wanted to do it upside down. So that's the, okay. Let's see if we can figure this out without going back to the instructions. Looks like we lost a wing. And I can already tell I lost a... I don't know what I lost in there. Oh, I bet it's that. Yeah. Well, that was an unfortunate event. But I think we recovered okay. Don't think we're missing too many pieces. We are in fact missing a few more pieces. So 1 second while I figure out what happened. I swear Space Baby is imminent. There's a big section of pieces missing in there. The tile and something else. Yeah, that's not lost on me that the shuttle experienced an issue. I'm just worried that like all the pieces, I'm only missing a couple pieces, like a tile right there, something else inside there, but I can't see them immediately. All right. Well, that stinks. I'm going to have to go back and find the rest of that. So before I do that, I'm going to put this on its stand. Raise, I'm going to lower that. These should, I thought this would clip on better than that, but I guess not. Yeah, I thought that would have stayed on a little better, but it didn't. But now this does not clip in place or anything. This just kind of sits in there by the look of it. Oh, really? That's interesting. Goes in between. Okay, well, I guess that's on. So part of the stand goes in between the wheels underneath, and the other is just like a cradle that it sits on. So I thought those big bracket pieces were underneath, the big flat gray pieces. These pieces right here were going to be more integral to the stand, but it just, like, there's a little piece that sits in between the wheels right there, and then it just cradles it like that. So it's not a great stand, but it works. So there you go. There's your space shuttle and plane on the stand. And again, I'm gonna have to hunt down what happened here. I think pieces were just ejected somewhere, and I have to find out amidst a room full of Lego what happened. So I may have to go back to the instructions and look for it. So that's done. Let's do a space baby. I was fully expecting to stream till 2, so I've got another hour. Like, I don't even see, they must have been like really ejected. They're not under the computer. They're not in the dog bed. They're not, I mean, they must have gone like way over there, because this thing kind of fell like this, and I have a feeling it all went like that. So anywho, I'm gonna try to get this out of the way so I don't bump into it too much. But now, and these are just extra pieces. Space baby. Uh-oh, I need a knife. Pieces got thrown over into the microfighter box. So I think there's one more piece missing, and then I'll fix that. But it's space baby time. Instructions. I might actually use these instructions. Let's just do what's up, Cliff? I had to make my stream so many technical difficulties. I had to make my stream 3 hours long so Cliff would come in. We're just going to use a good old-fashioned handheld instructions for this one. We did the plane shuttle, Cliff, and now we're making a space baby. How are you doing? How's your Memorial Day weekend? Gonna do any barbecuing? Gonna do any grilling? Gonna meet with any friends? Or family? poor dog is like, what are you doing? You're walking around. You're taking up my space. No. Ah. The bane of all existence. I have my knife. That's rotten. I like how it's Yo Texas, not hey Ben. Yo Texas. Lots of colorful internal parts. Because we're not going to see these. They're all going to be covered in red. I think Johnny was saying that there's a handful of pieces in here that you can't get in other colors. Otherwise, making different colored Space Babies will be pretty basic. There's some curved slopes, and there's some of the new wedged curved slopes that are really hard to, or don't exist. So you have to kind of make do somehow. But I'm excited to do this. This has been a set I've wanted to do for a while. Did I already do that wrong? Nope. Okay, I'm following in the directions. Little gap. Gotta make a little gap in there for something. I think this is probably one of the more highly anticipated gift with purchases in a while. And I think this illustrates to Lego that people really like classic space, but also that I think people are a little down on the fact that they can't get this unless they spend, what was it, 150 bucks? So, which isn't bad, but it's also like, why do you gotta ask people to spend 150 bucks? Just let them buy this. And again, I don't know that I'm going to be getting the gumball set. Mostly because I'm not a huge minifig person, but lately I've become more of a minifig person, like wanting to fill out builds with some cool looking minifigures, or not having the right kind of minifigures to kit bash what I do need. Is a little frustrating. So I've been trying to get maybe 1 or 2 figures from each CMF series or something. But still not my bag. So the idea of getting this gray is really weird. Look at the gray in the book compared to the gray in the set. That's not right at all. And it changes. That's 2 different grays. Fantastic. Good job, guys. Quality assurance says what? Bag chew. The good news about this is it's all printed parts, and this is probably another reason it's hard to do in different colors. And I'm wondering if at some point Lego will just print that in different colors so people can make their own space babies. If I were a Lego employee, I would be pushing for, you know, you want people to be able to customize their builds and do fun things and build their own world, and yet limit stuff to what can be bought. It's like, why not have this come with a handful of those different plates or tiles? That'd be kind of cool. Oh my good kitty hands. So there's a snafu. This is not a snafu. It's we got word yesterday that the organization that we belong to for the Austin FC supporter group, Los Verdes, let go of one of their. It's a volunteer-based group, the leadership. And you're nominated. You volunteer, but you're nominated by the supporter group, and generally you serve a term and then you're reelected or whatever, right? We there's a person in there who was kind of a friend of all of us, right? We had used their season tickets for a long time because they weren't using them. And then we finally, Cheryl and Claire got their own for us to use, and so we stopped using theirs. But they were always kind of like they would push for like big equity inclusion from the front office, and like make sure that everything at the stadium was accessible and like all this kind of stuff. Just found out that they had been dismissed from the group, from the leadership group, and the starting 11, which are like the board members, for gross mishandling of funds, basically. I mean, because the supporter group does charge, you pay your fee, you pay your dues, you pay your fees to be in the group, and so then they use that money for supplies and outreach programs and getting TIFO printed up and all this kind of stuff, right? So we're like, what? So there's a huge meeting going on right now that everybody's watching about what actually happened. And I'm like, oh, I kind of wanted to watch that, but I also kind of wanted to build Space Baby. So that's why my phone's blowing up. Yeah, 150 they would sell. So they would sell so many if it was just regular set. I completely agree. Women of the Blue looked purple in the... Okay, yeah. I keep looking up and scrolling on my screen. I'm so used to the instructions on screen. Here's two of the pieces that would not be in other colors, or at least one. This angled piece right here. This is going to be one of the sides of the helmet, but that's a newish piece. This would focus. That's a newish piece, right? This piece on the outside, no, there's plenty of those, but that one is newish and may not come in newer color or any other color than that. So but so far that's the only one I've seen that may be a problem. And that's just for the arm. So you could do something else there for the arm. You could do another one of these facing that way, and then just a cheese slope right there. Probably that would get you where you needed to be. Probably okay. Women of the Blue looked purple in the book. What is Women of the Blue? Unless that was just a typo. Women of the Blue sounds like a Leonard Cohen song. Women of the Blue. Ooh, and they locked everybody out. They locked all the board members out of the bank accounts. Thanks. I understand. Oh, some of the blue looked purple in the book. Gotcha. Yeah, sometimes it's like, was it a calibration problem with the software, or was it like a printing problem? When you looked at it the first time, did the reds not look right? So you had to do a different something. I was going to say, I can understand like gross misuse or mismanagement of funds. I can understand if like you were in above your head and you really didn't know what you were doing, and it's gross incompetence versus what basically was like embezzlement, right? It's missing funds. So most of the baby is like 2 boxes for the body, 1 for the head, and I'm guessing 1 for the air tank. Or I guess a couple for the head. We'll see. And it doubly sucks when you think you know a person and it turns out they are like a thief. You're like, really? Of all the people, like, that's the other problem. Of all the people in the group that we've come to know over the years, that's one of those where I'm like, oh man, not her, really? There's a couple other printed tiles. Printed slopes. That's going to be super fun. Guessing it's going to go like that. Or maybe just like this. Probably like that. Yeah, it's just disappointing. You know, you're frustrated, but also you're like, man, really? You of all people. This is going to be the color of the next Spaceman. They were saying this teal. They're like, is this a clue as to the color of the next? It's like, yeah, but they're in the set already. Aren't they in the Gumball set? God, somebody must be invading the nest outside. They're going nuts. So after this, trying to think of the next. This is nice. We're getting some 1x5s in here. If you're going to take this all apart, the next few streams maybe be back to business as usual. I do have a flower set I can build if we want to chill build stream, but I'd like to get back into doing some design stuff. I did promise Boot Knife that we would build his robot. So not going to be here Thursday. Next Sunday, I think I'll be here. Next Sunday will be the 1st. And I don't have any reason not to be here. So, ooh. I usually have black, white, and gray for this 3x3. So that's cool getting a different color. So yeah, later this week we'll do his robot if I can source the parts by then. I can't promise they're all going to be in like a matching color, something that looks good, but I'll at least try to get all the parts. Looking at the instructions and using my mouse scroll button does not work. how many more times I'm going to do that, but it's going to be at least 2. I already tell. Color for that block is kind of newish. I always feel like it doesn't matter what color snot bricks are usually, because you're doing something internal with them to try to change the direction. So something else can be the showcase on top of it. But that's a good color. At some point, they're going to do a 2x4 version of this. They just have to. The parts shouldn't be hard to source. Okay, cool. You don't know me. They may be impossible for me. I may not have any of them. No, it didn't look... When I was looking at it, I think I've got most of everything. If I don't, it's going to be a quick turnaround for Bricklink to get those parts, but we'll see. But I should also have all my parts for the new microfighters, so we'll work on that. And if I find something good at HEB at the grocery store, like if they get a new set, so far the sets there haven't been great. Shining part of the eye is up, and we're going to make him happy. We're not going to make him sad. Ooh, brackets in red. These guys in red, these 2 high plates. So are these pieces modified bricks or modified plates? Do we have an official word on that? Maybe it doesn't like the fact that it's going on so long. Yeah, it's being uphill. I was just saying it might be that it because of the length of the stream, maybe it's having a problem. But I've done long streams before. I'm guessing it may be because I'm having internet issues at my house. But we only have one more bag to go. Most of that head is done. And then we'll be done for the day. Yeah, hard to keep up viewership when your streams are constantly going down. But it's been okay for a while. It hasn't really done that in a bit. So, not super upset, but interesting. Supposed to be the little top stud on his head where the helmet goes on. That's kind of clever. They're like, yeah, we could put another plate in there. Like, oh, we should put a little yellow circle stud in there. I bet that's cute. And this instantly comes together. Like, it's still like under construction, and then bam, helmet. 2 chunky quarter bricks, quarter panel bricks, quarter round bricks, domes. Look how adorable. Look at that little head. Boom. Don't necessarily know how that goes on, but I'm guessing like that. A little forward. It's a little forward. I need room for, I guess, his air tanks in the back. So we got air tanks coming up. Well, I hope everybody has a good rest of your weekend. If you have a long weekend, I hope you enjoy it. Hope you're able to get out and do some grilling or cooking. Or visit with family if that doesn't annoy you, if you've got family and you like them. Really need to turn my ringer off during streams because I get distracted. Not that I mind interruptions from people, but I get distracted really easily. And that's twice. I did it twice. I reached for the mouse twice, just like I said I was going to. We got a couple of these, I like to call them Speed Champion headlight modified round bricks or whatever. Got those in red now. That's nifty. Oh, and these great new pieces. These just like, they look like orange slices. 4 of them in this. That's great. And we got a 1x4 round in red. A lot of good pieces in here. Very exciting. For those of us who are excited about new pieces. So yeah, this is all done. We got a space baby. And there's his little air tank in the back. And here's your space baby. Space baby. Isn't he cute? It's a rather large cell phone for comparison size. Brick separator for size. Yeah, I wish people could buy this. Oh, I think everybody's seen that, the Millennium Mufasa. I think everybody's seen that by now, but yeah, look up, somebody took the Mufasa set and turned it into a Millennium Falcon. It's sort of the same thing with, like, somebody took a bonsai and turned it into a Millennium Falcon. Somebody took the flamingo and turned it into a Millennium Falcon. There's a great TikTok sound that you can use that says something like, well, I did everything I could. Something like, I don't know how I got here, but I did everything I could. And so did you. And what are you still doing here, right? And for Lego, it's usually, I built this, here's the box that says Mufasa, and then it shows the Millennium Falcon, and then it shows all the extra pieces, right? So it's like, I don't know how I got here, but I did everything I could. Why are you still here, right? So it's pretty cute. I have this theory that Lego Millennium Falcons, because everybody kind of wants to make them out of other things, are the equivalent to evolution dovetailing or evolving into crabs multiple times. There's just something about the crab being the end result of evolution in so many lines that it's like kind of like Lego sets always become a Millennium Falcon, you know? So yeah. All right. Well, I've been at this for 3.5 hours, so I'm a little tired, so I'm going to take a break, but I really appreciate you guys for hanging out with me the whole time. This is not normally this long. And, ooh, a Demogorgon. Yeah, cool. I mean, I took my, bamboo and made it into an ent. There was a guy who put an ent up on Rebrickable. So, all right. So we've got Space Baby to go with the Space Shuttle plane. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend and get out there and build something. Hopefully take care of yourselves. Have a good rest of your holiday. Don't take money from organizations. That's all I can say. And yeah, I'll see you guys. It won't be Thursday. It'll be a week from today. So if something comes up between now and then, I'll let you know. But otherwise, take care. I'll talk to you soon.